Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be creating this look using the Jaclyn Hill's favorite palette from Morphe brushes. If you want to see how I got this look, keep on watching. So to first start off this look, I'm going to be using my MAC paint pot in soft ochre to prime my eyelids like I usually do. And we're doing something a little different today. I'm actually going to be doing my eyes before I do my foundation and the rest of my base. So just to keep everything nice and clean, and I'm just kind of switching up my routine a little bit. But you want to apply this eyeshadow base evenly. Now for the first color we're going to be using, it is going to be ES67 in the palette. Forgive me if I'm struggling with the names here, but it's because the names aren't on the palette as it comes. I actually just took a metallic Sharpie and wrote the names on the back, and they have those weird number names, so nothing pretty or fancy here. But we're taking this as a transition color. Then going in with the shade right next to it, which is ES13, again layering that on. I'm using my Bobbi Brown eye blender brush to do this, because I really want a blown out blended look, and this brush is so big and fluffy. I feel like I can't talk today. It does just that. Then going in with the next color, I am taking ES24, which is a much more cooler brown tone, and going in with a smaller, more defined blending brush and just popping that right into the crease. I'm going to go back a few times here and layer it over because I want it nice and defined, and I want to really carve out my crease because it's just going to give a more rounded appearance to my eye shape. Then to add a little bit of color, I'm going to be taking the color ES71, which is a nice plummy purple shade, and again popping that right into the crease with another smaller defined blending brush, and again layering it up into the intensity that I want it to be at. Then to add some depth, I'm going to be taking the color right above that one, which is ES24, and it's actually popping that right onto the outer V and then onto the inner V of my eye to again enhance that round shape. Then for my favorite part, we're going in with the color ES47, and this one, actually it's ES20, and this one is such a high shine metallic bronzy color. I absolutely love it. I did not expect this color to swatch the way it does at all. It just looked like a metallic gray, but when you put it on, it has this really nice taupey sheen to it, which is just so different, and absolutely love it. And then going in once more with that eye blender to just really make sure everything is nice and blended and we have absolutely no harsh lines. Then for liner, again doing something a little bit different, I am taking my Bobbi Brown Longwear eye pencil in the shade Jet, which is just the blackest black pencil, and just lining with my upper lashes. You don't have to be super neat about this. You can actually do it a little bit messy because we're going to go back in and just kind of smoke it and smudge it out. What I like to do is just pull my top lid a little taut and just go in small dashes along my lash line. Then with my Anastasia Artist palette, I'm taking the shade Coal, and just on a MAC 212 brush, I'm just pushing that against my lashes and literally just flicking up to blend out that liner and making sure we have a nice smooth blended transition. Nothing too harsh and jaggedy like it was before when it was left alone. So again, and also this is going to help make it stick and not smudge anywhere. Then moving on to the face, I am taking two primers, my Too Faced Hangover Primer and then also the Benefit Porefessional. First, I'm applying my Too Faced Hangover Primer all over. I am loving this primer so much. It is so hydrating and so soothing. I know I'm an oily skin person, but if your skin is just feeling tired, or if you didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, or you just have this dehydrated feel to your skin, which all of us get from time to time, maybe you're not drinking enough water, etc. This will really just help revive your skin. It's a lightweight moisturizer. I love using this on my clients that have drier skin. It just really helps revive the skin and get it nice and plump again. Then for my problem areas that I like to call, is my T-zone. I'm taking the Benefit Porefessional just a little bit and just kind of rubbing that really into those larger pores that I have to making sure everything is nice and smooth. So really just along the inner parts of my cheek, chin, nose, and the center of my forehead, just so we have a nice smooth surface and nothing is texturized. Then for foundation, I am taking my Bobbi Brown Longwear Even Finish Foundation in the shade Warm Sand, and just on a flat top kabuki brush from BH Cosmetics, I'm starting off in the center of my face, kind of pressing downward and then patting it into my skin so we get a nice even coverage, but yet it still stays full. Now I know this foundation seems to be a little off from my skin tone, especially the skin tone on my face, but keep in mind my face is a lot lighter than the rest of my body. This shade does match my neck and it has a lot of yellow in it, which I prefer in my foundations because I like to look warmer as opposed to the actual color that's on my face, which is a lot more pale and sallow, which is just not okay with me. And I'm out of this foundation completely. I've come to the bottom of it and I'm super sad. But anyway, moving on to our highlighting. I am using my Naked Skin from Urban Decay full lightweight concealer, whatever it's called, but also mixing it with my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in Fair. I'm mixing these two because the first one is a little too light and the second one just kind of evens it out perfectly. So I'm taking that, and I know it's heavy, but that's exactly why we're going in with a damp beauty blender to pick up any excess product. And I am just patting that. This is in real-time motion. You really want to make sure when using a damp beauty blender you have a nice bounce going when you're pressing in your product into your foundation, because the whole point is that you want it to not only absorb excess product, but you really want it to help melt the concealer or whatever product you're putting on into your foundation. This gives such a nice blend. You can't see any lines distinguishing from your foundation to concealer. It's absolutely perfect, and I love that I rediscovered this. Then taking a Mary Kay translucent powder and a dry beauty blender, I'm actually picking up product with this one and just pressing that underneath my eye to prevent any creasing from happening later on. But I'm also going to be taking this on the center of my forehead and on the center of my chin to help prevent any oiliness from pushing through, and also the sides of my mouth from creasing. I've already done my brows. I will link my brow tutorial down below, but moving on, I am just blending away that baking with my Bobbi Brown sheer powder brush before we go on to contouring. Then to set the rest of my foundation, I am going to be using my Bobbi Brown retouching powder in the shade Yellow, and you want to use as little as possible of this. A little goes a long way, and I'm just taking that onto a sheer powder brush and really evenly distributing that product. Then, you guessed it, I am taking my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I'm just going to be pushing this into the hollows of my cheek. I am using this to warm up my skin tone as opposed to contouring. Not so much. Contouring will take place in just a minute, but I'm also taking this along my forehead, temples, and just slightly on my neck, just so we have an even flow of color. Then for highlighting, I am taking my Anastasia contour kit and the shade Banana, using that same sheer powder brush, just pressing this underneath my eyes, and then I'm also taking that onto the center of my nose, the center of my chin, and my forehead, pretty much anywhere we highlighted. Then for contouring, I am taking the shade Fawn from that same contour kit and using this on a Sephora number 56 brush and just really chiseling out my cheekbones here. And I really hate the face that I'm making, please ignore that, but what can I do? I'm also taking this just on the sides of my temples, not so much all around my forehead. Then adding a little bit right in between my cupid's bow to accentuate the upper lip, and same thing for the bottom lip, just putting that right underneath. And then just putting a little bit on the tip of my nose and then gently running it along the sides of my nose to give my nose a nice sharper, slimmer appearance. And then also I do like to create a break in the nose right above the bulb of it. Then for blush, I'm taking my Milani Cosmetics Baked Blush in Berry Amour and just pushing that into my contour and into my bronzer, up and back towards my hairline. Then going in with some highlight, I'm using, of course, my favorite, the Balm Mary Luminizer, and just really putting that right at the highest points of my cheeks, and then taking my finger and just kind of melting it and working it into my blush and just kind of diffusing any harsh sides. I've been loving to do this lately because I just feel like it looks so much more natural and it just kind of harshens the blow so you're not just in your face with highlight. Then taking a little bit of bronzing powder from Bobbi Brown, just kind of going lightly over my blush to give a more warmer appearance. Then to finish up the eye look, I am taking that same eye pencil we used to line our upper lashes. I am just going to be placing this right into the waterline. This looks kind of disgusting, like now that I'm seeing this, because it makes me cringe a little bit, but if you're not used to watering your waterline, just kind of slightly pull down on your bottom lid and just go in there. Don't be afraid, don't look up, you really want to see what you're doing. And then just to kind of set it and smoke it out a little bit, I'm taking that same MAC brush we used earlier to tightline and just really brushing that alongside the bottom of my lashes, really making sure to go underneath my bottom lashes and then pushing upwards and just kind of wiggling the brush back and forth. Then with the Mary Kay smudge brush, I am taking the Plummy Color ES71 and I'm taking ES24 together to kind of just diffuse it and smoke it out, and then on a pencil brush going back in with the color ES13 to make sure everything's nice and blended, and highlighting the inner corner and upper brow bone with ES54. This is a little hard to do because these names are ridiculous, but I got it. Then adding some false eyelashes, I'm taking my Ardell Demi Wispies, and then I'm adding some individuals. I'm taking 4 of the medium lengths, and then in between those medium lengths, I'm going to be placing the long individuals. I'm going to do this off camera. If you guys want a lash tutorial, just let me know down below in the comments, and I'd be happy to provide one for you. Then for the lip color, and I did add mascara to the bottom lashes, just FYI. But for the lip color, I am taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lipstick in Milkshake. I was a little afraid to wear this one on its own because I know how light it can be, and it's just a little maybe too nude, but I did top it off with a gloss. And here is the finished look, guys. I actually really like the way this lip color played out with this look, and I hope you guys did too. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.